How's it
Hi Jack,
going?
how are you?
Nice to meet
Nice to meet you
you. Good.
too. How are
Yeah.
things going over there at the surf ranch?
It's good. It's been a couple of years, but the wave's super fun. Like it's like so fun to surf. So
Yeah, I
just
bet.
enjoying it. Just enjoying it. Yeah.
Awesome. Getting there practicing.
Yeah, for sure. I just cruising. My first event in like 6 weeks. So happy to be surfing again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
With the surf ranch being such like a unique location on tour, like how do you go about preparing yourself for that, like mentally and physically for that, like a wave that's so perfect?
It's kind of like so different, obviously, from the ocean. But since I had the injury at Bells, like I had a 5 weeks, I think, or 6 weeks out of the water. So I was like training so much and just, I don't know, it was like I had a time off. It's kind of a reason for it because I feel like it's one of those events you have to be the fittest for just because it's so long. The wave's like
Yeah.
almost too long. But yeah, it's different. It's definitely different mindset. You know the wave's going to come. So it's kind of, it's super fun wave. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you a little bit about your injury. I'm assuming are
Yeah.
you back to like 100% now, or like what did you have to like go through in order to get yourself back, in time for now?
Yeah, I'm definitely back to 100%, but then I don't think I should push 100% all the time because my mind is like, even just then, I just had a couple of waves. Well, yesterday I had a couple of waves and I did a couple of good airs, but then today I went even bigger and I was like, I fell off on a couple. I was like, oh, you don't have to push too crazy, but it's like you got to respect the injury a little bit just because we still have a bunch of events coming up. So yeah, just step by step for me.
Did you have any trouble making the decision to pull out of the Margaret River event since it's like your home break and like everybody was looking forward to it? Like what went through your mind? Were you teetering on the edge of pulling out or staying in?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't want to do the event. But then it also, once I had a bit of a think about it, sort of had to listen to the people that are with you and the coaches and everybody. They're like, hey, we have a long year. It is a marathon. Like, you really need to just, it can be a throwaway. I had a good start already. So let's just build back up for the second half of the year and come in and feeling good. That's the biggest thing. You really appreciate your health when you have an injury.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, so looking to this event, who do you think like is the biggest competition out there? Like who shines at this event, and is there anything that you can do to kind of take their momentum away from them?
I mean, it's kind of one of those events where everyone's like doing their own thing. There's not really too much strategy. I feel like it's more so who's had the most experience to out here, kind of knows it well, and who is good mentally. I think just to not push too hard always because it's a real like kind of an interesting wave. Like you don't get many chances, so you just have to really make them count. And yeah, it's halfway through the year. This is like the event that kind of sets you up again for the next part. I feel like because it's a midway, so
Yeah.
it's cool. Yeah.
What about the way they're running the competition this year? It's like a little different, I guess. There's like some night
Yeah.
surfing, but is it
Yeah.
is it that you don't really want to be part of the night surfing because that means you haven't like you didn't do that great? Like, is it like a toss up?
Yeah.
Like you kind of want to do it, but you don't?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need to do the night surfing. I think it'll be cool the way they've done it now because it's not like a leaderboard as much. They've made it more so like you're surfing against each guy. So you got four guys in each sort of like category. Like they got their little slots and stuff, and then comparing against each other in those four guys. So it's better, I think. And yeah, I think it's cool. I'm so different. So when the last time I was here, it was the first year on tour when I was here, and I was a bit nervous, but now I'm fine. It's all good. Just over there. Yeah.
With surfing as a sport is still fairly young when you compare it to like other the major sports like football, baseball, and stuff like that. Like now having the like inclusions of like wave pools like this, how do you think it's changed the sport, and do you think that they'll like the new kids coming up who have more access to wave pools are becoming more like specialists in that category?
For sure. I see like little 7 and 8 year olds like surfing in wave pools, already doing big airs. They get so many more waves than you do in the ocean, because in the ocean you maybe only will get, 5 to 10 waves sometimes in like maybe an hour or 2 hours. But in the ocean, I mean in the wave pool, you get like 50 goes. So it's like these kids are getting so good so quick. I think it's really cool because we get to practice so much, and it's the funnest ever. Yeah, it'll be interesting. My kids will be growing up in wave pools now. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, I live in New York and the waves are terrible, but there's a pretty good wave pool close by, so we're all good.
Yeah. I think build as many as we can.
Yeah. Not looking too far ahead, but last year you were in the final, right? Did you take anything away from that experience? Like, hopefully you'll be able to get there again. Is there anything you learned from like going through that one day of just like rigorous having to get to the, what can you take from it, going forward, hopefully to get there?
Yeah, it's so different compared to all the other years I've watched, like the leadership, the leaderboard kind of like with who's in front, and it's like the whole day is based around the world title, so it's super different the way they've changed everything now. But I think it just takes a bit of getting used to. The first time is like, yeah, it's kind of different to getting. It's almost like you try and make it feel like just a normal event, a one-day event, but then it decides the whole year. So that's just the thing you kind of have to wrap your head around. But I just want to, I think going in again, get another shot at it, that'll be super cool. And yeah, I think I could do a lot of things different, and it would be exciting for me.
Yeah. And probably one of the biggest takeaways is be number one when you get there, right? Then less surfing you have to do.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even since the injury this year, just to get there anyway, let's just get there. So yeah, it'll be good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This event is different than others because there's no waiting period, right? So like for fans watching, it's a lot more accessible. So what like advice or whatever you would give to somebody who's kind of just getting into this sport as a fan, like getting ready to watch this event? Because it's like, tune in, it's going. When people are going. It's way easier to watch, right? Yeah.
I mean, I think like it's cool because it happens at the exact time it's going to happen. The ocean, you never know. But also, it's kind of like, I mean, I think it is probably more fun to surf the wave than sitting sometimes and watching, because it does take a little while for the waves to come. But then, like when you're here live and you're watching it, it's super cool because it's like, get to see, in real life. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, surfing it, we have so much fun. Like we really love the wave. So yeah, I always try and like come here and watch it live instead of watching it home. I'm just like love watching it.
Yeah.
Very my fun.
Right.
But
Like for fans though, like people, I think surfing as a sport is like getting more mainstream too, with like the inclusion of the Olympics and everything too. Like people want to be able to be like, oh, when's it on? People ask me all the time, like, oh, when's it on? I'm like, oh, it could be any time between this day and this day. Like it's like,
Exactly. Like I think when they when they have the Olympics in LA, like if they're going to try and have it at Huntington Beach, there's no way they should have it at Huntington Beach because the waves are like so average. It would be so cool if they had it in a wave pool close by. Like that would be the coolest because what time. Awesome. So that's why it's really, really cool. It's just it's gonna be the same every time. It's not gonna be like the waves aren't gonna be bad.
Totally. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean that's all the questions I had. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.